ketogenic lifestyle. It's not a diet, because when you're on a diet, well, I'm Dr. Allie. I don't know some of you. Hi. So a ketogenic lifestyle is, the reason I don't like to call it a diet is because most people will go on a diet and change the way they're eating and eat all this stuff, and then the way they used to eat, because they think, oh, a diet is temporary, I'm doing it to lose weight, when I'm done with this diet, I can just do what I was doing. But that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Who knows that doesn't work? Raise your hand, right? So that's why it's a lifestyle. And you want to change your lifestyle, you want to change your habits, because you want, whatever it is you want to do. People go on keto, again, to lose weight, to reverse diabetes, to prevent cancer, to reverse autoimmune diseases. Like, there's many reasons why people do keto. It's good to just eat this way. This is how our bodies are designed. And I eat like this for years and years just because it's healthy, and it's what works. It reduces inflammation. It's a great way of eating. And then, again, it's a whole lifestyle, so we're going to go into all of that. So, and it's more than just food, right? It's mindset. So here's what the ketogenic lifestyle is. It's going to be high fat. It's not high protein. People think it's high protein a lot of times. It's not. It's high fat. But that is good, healthy fats, right? Which I'll get into later. Like grass-fed beef and pastured pork and grass-fed dairy and butter and coconut oil and avocados, olives. It's not like those healthy fats, like canola oil bad, vegetable oils are bad. So it's not just any fat. It has to be a good, high-quality fat, and I will get into that later. It's moderate protein, and it's very, very low carb. Like usually we say under 30 grams of carbs a day. It's making sure you're getting the right nutrients, making sure you have the right fatty acid balance in your body. That's why healthy fats, like grass-fed beef, will have a 4-to-1 ratio or 2-to-1 ratio of omega-6 to 3. And that's what your body is. But like a grain-fed hamburger, that's like cheap meat or whatever, will have 20 or 40 to 1. And now you're just massive inflammation. And so that's why you want to balance, but I talk about fatty acids later also. So this is basically how you want to eat all the time. Ketogenic lifestyle also includes intermittent fasting. Anybody know what anybody not know what intermittent fasting is? It's fine, you know, a lot of people don't know. Intermittent fasting is when you wait to eat. So intermittent fasting is not like, you're not going to fast for a whole day or 2 days or 3 days. It's skipping breakfast, not eating till noon, and finishing eating at 8 o'clock. I mean, it could be, you could do 10 to 6, whatever you want. But it's like eating within like a time period every day, so that your body has, so you're eating within like an 8-hour time period. We can build up to that. You start with 12, go to 10, go to 8. So you're giving, if you're doing an 8-hour time period, whatever, you're giving your body 16 hours between food to heal, to process toxins, to detox, to do other things other than digest food all day. Because if you're just eating all day, your body's digesting food all day, and it wears your body out, it wears out your digestive system, and then your body has no energy to do anything else or to heal from anything else. So intermittent fasting is extremely important. In fact, some people say you do keto just so you can intermittent fast. Because when you're eating like a ketogenic way, you really lose your appetite because your body's burning fat. And so you're not really hungry. And so it makes it very easy to do intermittent fasting. There's no cravings, you don't really get hungry as much. Right? I'll intermittent fast for like dinner to dinner, like 3 times a week, right? Because I'm just not hungry. Or like today, I'm not going to eat right now. I'm like talking, or I'm busy, I'm not hungry. So intermittent fasting is extremely important. Hydration is extremely important with keto. Because when you eat carbs, your body retains a lot of water, which is why you have inflammation, right? And kind of weight gain. But when you eat keto, your body flushes a lot of that out, so you have to drink more water to like keep yourself hydrated, right? Without causing inflammation, obviously. Electrolytes and salt. So basically Himalayan salt, right? Pink Himalayan salt. Pink Himalayan salt has 84 minerals in it, whereas regular table salt has 3 minerals. And so pink Himalayan salt is it's like taking a mineral supplement. Most people are deficient in minerals. And again, when you're not retaining so much water from carbs, you need more electrolytes, you need more salt for your body. But when you have a lot of carbs in your diet, if you eat too much salt, you're just going to become more inflamed and retain more water. And so you really can't eat that much salt. But the amount of salt that you need to eat in general, you can really only do in a ketogenic lifestyle because your body's just like flushing out. It's not holding onto all this water, so you can take in more salt. It's good to eat a lot of salt. It's extremely good for you, especially the pink. It's alkaline, it's very healthy. So that's important. And food has a dopamine effect. That means you get high from eating it, right? That's why you're like, oh, it feels so good, comfort food. Like when I eat that, it literally has a dopamine effect. And so does like drinking water has a dopamine effect, but it's much, 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 much less of a high you get from drinking. I don't get any. I just like chug it down. You have a question? No. Okay. So, but here's the thing. So when you eat, it makes you like, oh, you feel so good. When you drink, it's like, nah, really, you don't really feel great from drinking. But your thirst and your hunger centers are right next to each other in your hypothalamus. So if you're thirsty, your body will sometimes think you're hungry. And then you eat, and then you like feel better, but you're still dehydrated. So it's really important to understand what food does to you. Like understand that food does have a chemical effect on your brain. And so when you're like, oh my God, I need to eat, it's like, no, go for a jog because that has dopamine too, or go meditate or do yoga or something. So eating increases dopamine, like drinking stimulates it less, right? So that's why you feel really good. You're like, oh, it feels good to eat that. Another part of being ketogenic is just being grateful. That's part of anything, yeah?
You said drinking stimulates much less, meaning coffee and tea?
No, like just in general. The coffee and tea different because it's caffeine. Just like drinking water. So most people are just dehydrated because you don't drink enough water and then you don't get this little dopamine high from drinking water. So you're like, ah. And then, but if you're thirsty, your body a lot of times thinks you're hungry because they're right next to each other, those two centers. So you'll think you're hungry, but you're actually thirsty.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So you mean that it's better to drink water than to eat?
No. It's just important to drink enough water.
Enough water.
Because sometimes when we're hungry, we think we're hungry, but we're thirsty.
Okay.
So it's important to drink enough water.
What's enough water?
Half your body weight in ounces. Being grateful, being able to forgive, like not holding on to stuff, is really important for to be healthy in general, right? Because stress stimulates your fight or flight, and you get like that, and then you just want to eat junk. So like, it's all works together. So you have to be able to control those emotions to control your eating, because you want to be healthy. You can't be healthy when you're just stress eating all the time. Anyone ever stress eat? Right? So, okay. Food gives you energy. Food helps you heal. Water, salt, and electrolytes gives you more energy. So again, you'll think that you're tired and you're low in energy and you're fatigued. You're like, oh, I need food and sugar. No, you need water and electrolytes. It's electrical current, electrical. It gives you more energy. So drinking water, taking electrolytes, eating salt. Well, electrolytes are just salt. Like we have electrolyte powder over there. It just doesn't taste like salt, but it's made from Himalayan salt. Because I'm pretty hardcore, but I'm not drinking salty water. There's no way that I'm drinking salty water. I don't care. I'm not doing it. So I get those electrolytes to like increase. I eat salt a lot, but I also drink electrolytes that don't taste like salt. So electrolytes is what conducts electrical current through your body and gives you energy. And we eat more for adaptation and recovery to rebuild a healthy cell. So food is not as much for energy. That gets complicated, but like mitochondria. We can talk about that. Your mitochondria is the little piece in your cell. So your cell has all these little organelles in it, right? You have right, you know about that, like you have a nucleus in your cell, and you have all these parts. The mitochondria in your cell is what's responsible for energy. The mitochondria is also what's responsible when you have cancer. Like when someone has cancer, it's because their mitochondria is messed up or goes bad, or is off. It's mitochondria. It's not genetic cancer. It's mitochondria. It's energy. I mean, if I have time later, I can talk more about it. But your mitochondria is extremely important. That's how you get energy. Like your muscle cells have a lot of mitochondria because you use your muscles a lot. Right? But your cells normally just have one mitochondria in there for yourself for energy. So ketones is what is made by your body when you're in a ketogenic diet. It's what your body uses for fuel. So if you're just eating sugar all day, your body will burn sugar for fuel. But you can only hold so much sugar for fuel. The rest of the sugar, if you eat a lot of sugar, like if you eat this much sugar, this much gets saved for energy. The rest of it gets stored as fat. And you can't burn it off. So if you're like just eating sugar and carbs, like most people just aren't in a ketogenic state in their body. I'll explain that. So you just eat sugar and then you run out of energy and then you eat more sugar, more sugar. Every time you eat extra, you get stored as fat. And sugar is like a very, very bad fuel for your body. It's like it burns dirty. It's terrible for your body. It's not efficient. It's like having a sports car and putting like the worst gas in it. It will destroy the engine. But ketones, now your body will either burn fat or sugar. That's how our bodies work. Sugar is really designed for emergency purposes, to gain weight, way back when people would starve. If your ketones get too low and your fat cells get too low, your brain would switch over to burning sugar. And then when that happens, you would crave sugar and you would go find sugar, whether it was berries or honey or whatever it was, way back, right? And then eating the sugar made you gain weight and get back to a normal weight, and then your body would body would flip over to burning ketones again, which is a great fuel, very efficient. It's the best thing for your body. And so really most people are in a state right now of like survival, just burning sugar. But you want to burn fat. And so in order to burn fat, you just have to stop eating sugar and eat more fat. That's like basically. So when you're burning fat, your body takes the fat and if anyone has high triglycerides, if you go on a ketogenic diet, your body will take the triglycerides and turn them into ketones and just burn them off as fuel. And it's extremely efficient and you don't crave sugar. So ketones are very, very energy efficient, and when your body is keto adapted, which means you're like in a state of ketosis, burning fat, your mitochondria get really, really strong and are able to utilize that fat very, very efficiently. Mitochondria can adapt, so if you are outside in the cold a lot, your mitochondria will adapt and be able to keep you warmer. It makes your mitochondria stronger to like be cold and be hot and put like this little stress on your body. This is very interesting, but your mitochondria loves burning ketones. It makes it very efficient, and when someone has cancer, we want to not burn sugar because sugar fuels cancer. We want to switch over to ketosis and just burn fat and then not have that sugar craving. So it's interesting. So in rat studies, mitochondria has been shown to increase between 50% and 60% when your body becomes keto adapted. That means you're super efficient energy, and now you don't even need to eat that much. You just eat some healthy food, right? You don't get as hungry. And mitochondria are responsible for cancer, and mitochondria makes your body more resilient to all kinds of stress. Again, cold and hot and all kinds of stress. It's very interesting. I could do a whole entire talk just on mitochondria. Does that sound exciting? So you can produce ketones when your blood sugar and your insulin decreases. That's the only time you'll produce ketones to burn. Only when you like reduce your sugar and your carb intake drastically. Then your body will start producing ketones so you can burn fat for energy. And so most people will have extra fat. there's like extra fat on your body. Most people could fast for like 3 weeks and just not even need to eat anything, and then your body goes into ketosis, so it will just burn the fat that's on your body. And that's how you lose weight and burn fat. But if you're eating sugar, you will never ever burn that extra fat on your body. It just won't happen. Because your body just won't burn ketones, and so all this fat just builds up and builds up. Right? That's why ketosis helps you lose weight, but that's not the main goal of it. It's to be healthy. But a side effect of it is you'll burn off a lot of your extra fat. Question? So when your blood sugar goes down, your insulin decreases, your body will start to burn more ketones. Your liver starts to take fatty acids from your food or your body fat, and it brings triglycerides to the liver, and it converts it all to ketones, and you just burn it all off. So most of the time when someone goes to the doctor like, oh, your cholesterol's high, your triglycerides are high, don't eat meat, don't eat fat. It's like, no, don't eat sugar, because that's what causes it. Eat fat, eat healthy meat, and then you'll burn all, but stop eating sugar, and then your body will just burn all that. So it teaches burning fat. It teaches your body to use stored fat for fuel, right? That you're not burning.
What about the natural sugars?
No, it's all bad. All bad. I mean, honey, maple syrup, fruit. No. When you're counting your carbs and your sugar, the carbs for the day, salad is even included on this carb count. So I'll get into a little more details about that. So when you use ketones for energy, your body releases a hormone called leucine that tells the body to maintain muscle mass and bone mass. So when you're in a ketogenic state, when you're burning ketones, you won't burn muscle. You won't reduce bone. You won't have any bone loss. Your body will keep your muscle mass and keep your bone really strong. Whereas if you're burning sugar, you're just gonna, because of the imbalances of nutrients when you're eating a lot of sugar and carbs, you can become osteoporotic, have osteoporosis from that. Because your body will lose a lot of its calcium. But when you're in a ketogenic state, your body produces a hormone that maintains bone mass and maintains muscle mass. It's almost like we were designed to only eat like this. Because when you're eating like this, it's like you're in a perfect balance. And if you've done it, it's not that hard. Once you start doing it, it's just a change of habit, right? You just change your habits. If you have these habits, just develop these habits. It takes 30 days or less to develop a new habit. Just develop new habits. It may be hard for a few days or a couple of weeks, but it's worth it. So this affects your brain as well. And there's a lot of children that we put on a keto diet because of like seizures and all that. So original research on keto didn't have anything to do with weight loss or anything. It just had to do with epilepsy. So when epileptic kids went on long-term keto diets, 50% saw a significant reduction in seizures after 6 months. And 90% reduction after 2 years. And so there's no medication that can even come close to that, right? And there's no side effects. But that also shows you that as you age, people say, oh, I'm losing my memory, or I feel foggy, or this or that. But keto will clear that up. Look what it does to brains of children with epilepsy. It cleared it up, reduced inflammation. So it'll affect anyone's, brain. So I see people getting off medications that they're on for whether it's depression or anxiety when they go on a keto diet, and other things like, of course, seizures reduce and everything. Your brain is most mitochondrial dense tissue in your body. It's the most mitochondrial tissue dense in your body. Research shows that it downregulates. So basically, when you're eating a keto diet, it reduces the inflammation in your brain. So when someone has MS or something else, you put them on a ketogenic diet to reduce all the inflammation in your brain and reduce the inflammation in your body. That's what that's saying. So there are medications, pharmaceutical, they're working on medications to downregulate these pathways to reduce inflammation, but they don't get nearly the same results, and they get horrible side effects. Whereas you can just do this, it just means, you just eat differently, and now all of a sudden your body's incredibly healthier. It reduces senility, it reduces Alzheimer's. 152 people with Alzheimer's, significant improvement in cognitive ability. There's more to the research. People so they were given exogenous ketones, which is like a drink that you're giving ketones to force your body into ketosis quicker. I don't really recommend that. You just change your diet. Because you don't want to get stuck on drinking something that's not food. You want to just change your relationship with food. Just eat healthier food. It tastes good. I don't even sell exogenous ketones because I don't really want people doing that. I mean, I've had patients, children with cancer, with brain cancer, and we put them on a ketogenic diet, and a lot of times it does a lot for them. And ADHD and all of that stuff. Anxiety in children, everything.
What about autistic children?
Yeah, really, really makes a huge difference in their brain. Absolutely, I see it all the time. I've been doing this for 28 years. I see this all the time. So the science shows being keto adapted is going to improve cognition, ability to think sharply and quickly, improve your memory, and it reduces your risk of any kind of neurodegenerative disease. Let's see if I'm still on. Mood, right? We all have moods, right? I don't, I'm kidding. My 14-year-old has moods. There's an epidemic of depression and anxiety, which of course is worse now during this virus thing, right? People are locked down or they're scared, or children are working from home and they're not going to school, they're not socializing, so there's a lot more problems with depression and anxiety. Even more reason to be more strict with your diet, where people aren't. They're like less strict. They're just home, just eating junk food and candy and making everything worse. And then their kids are eating more junk food and it's making them worse. And so this is a time to really change things. When things get harder and more stressful, that's when you have to get healthier, right? So a lot of this depression and anxiety, again, is just inflammation in your brain. And keto downregulates all the inflammation in your brain. Not all of it, but a lot of it. It's a really quick, simple fix, right? Rather than medication and all the other things that you go through. Just eat a healthy diet and reduce the inflammation in your brain, and it'll make a lot of changes. So there are two neurotransmitters, glutamate, which is excitatory, like MSG will do that to your brain, but it gets out of control and you can excite the brain tissue to death. So MSG can cause massive migraines and tumors. So you have glutamate, which is like excite your brain, but it can cause like serious problems. A lot of people are coming in, and there's an article somebody just told me about a huge increase in migraines during this time. And then people are speculating as what's causing all these migraines. Well, it's probably all the junk food that people are eating, and their lack of exercising, and maybe they're sitting in a bad position because they're working from home, right? And so you have glutamate, but then you have GABA. GABA is the opposite, and it calms your brain. So if anybody has any kind of anxiety, or you have a kid who's like really anxious, GABA is a great first thing to try, because it helps balance the other very excited neurotransmitter glutamate in your brain. So it's a great way to start. GABA is a great way to start that. Great thing to take instead of anxiety medication, or if you're having trouble relaxing at night, if you're having trouble sleeping or staying asleep, try GABA. Many times your brain might be just out of balance with your neurotransmitters.
Does the body make GABA naturally?
I think your body makes GABA, but if you eat too much junk, it can't keep up with the glutamate. Your body will make more glutamate because of out of balance. But your body usually makes everything, and if you take care of your body properly, it will do everything perfectly the way it was designed. We just don't know how to take care of our body. No one ever teaches us how to eat and exercise and get adjusted. You just don't learn that. We just learn, do whatever you want, and then when something pops up, just take a medication. And stay on that for the rest of your life. Right? Or like, oh, you're just getting old, just live with it. Or take these pills. Like, we're not like, oh, let's find out why I have this and fix it. We're just not taught that. But your body, when it's taken care of properly, everything will be perfectly in balance. Homeostasis, right? Yeah?
So would you take, if you were doing the keto way of eating, would you also have to take the GABA?
No, that's all. No, that's
that controls it.
Yeah, no, keto controls it. But if you're feeling really anxious now, or your kid's really anxious, GABA is a great thing to take to manage that, to like calm it down, you know. And then sometimes when you calm your brain down, it's much easier to make dietary changes. So, but if you go keto, you don't need to take that, unless you're like having a stressful day or something, like really stressful day, you feel really, and you can't sleep, It's just a good neurotransmitter, especially for kids. It calms them, allows them to like focus more, and right, eat less sugar. It makes you, if you're all like hot, fired up on glutamate, you're gonna eat more sugar too. You're just gonna want all that. So keto balances that ratio, right, and creates homeostasis in your brain. So emotional balance, reduced anger, frustration, domestic violence. When you balance these neurotransmitters, you have less road rage, less anger, there's less drug abuse and less alcohol abuse. Because many times we self-medicate with alcohol or drugs or food to try to balance what's going on in our brain when you really don't need to do that. But you know, if you're taking drugs or drinking alcohol to calm, like go on a keto diet and like obviously there's other things depending on how much of if it's a problem, you have to do other things. But going on a keto diet will balance those neurotransmitters. You won't really feel the need to do that, but it will lead to that. Having imbalances in your neurotransmitters is one of the things that leads to people drinking and doing drugs and doing all those things. Keto flu. So when you change your diet and you stop eating sugar and you start eating a lot of fat, your body might go through a detox and a shift, and they call it a keto flu. Andrea has experienced that. I never experienced. She works here. I've never experienced that, but I know people do, and sometimes it lasts a week, sometimes it lasts a couple of days. If you're like really sick, like if you're diabetic and have high blood pressure or cancer, if you're really sick, the keto flu might last 2 weeks. It's fine. You just let your body, knowing what it is, you're like, oh, that's what it is. That's good. That means my body's transitioning and changing, right? You want it to change. You want it to switch over to burning fat instead of sugar. But sometimes you have symptoms. So your body has to adapt from being a sugar burner to being a fat burner, right? And so when your blood sugar drops, before your body's able to like really efficiently burn ketones and fat for energy, you might get dizzy, hungry, headaches, fatigue, right? It's okay. Just like drink more water and eat more salt. It's like, and eat more fat, right? Just like eat butter. You can do that. People do that, it's easy. Whatever, just eat more fat, eat more salt, and drink more water. Take less medication.
Yes.
When your blood sugar starts to drop, you have to take less medication to wean off the medication, but drink more water, eat more fat, and check your blood sugar, because if it is low, that means you have to take less, you have to start taking less medication, less insulin. You can talk to your doctor. You can talk to your doctor about how to do that. Right, no, because that's just sugar, right? I mean, you can take almonds. Almonds are a good way when you have a low blood sugar. But if you start checking your blood sugar, and your blood sugar starts to get lower, you have to start talking to your doctor about, or do whatever you want to take less medication, because the medication is making your blood sugar drop too low. Because once you change your diet, you don't need insulin or medication. Once you because you can get off all of those medications, but you might have to wean off of them. You might still need a little bit, right? But yeah, that's a good question. So check your blood sugar, drink a lot of water, eat some almonds, see if you can get it back up, and then just talk to your doctor and lower that dose. And just keep lowering it until you don't need it anymore and have normal blood sugar. So again, it can last anywhere from 2 days to 3 weeks, right? From a day to 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. And the more insulin resistant you are when you start, the harder it's going to be. So if people are diabetic, it's harder, but not everybody. I've had people diabetic and they go on ketosis, right? Reverse their diabetes, right? And they don't really get a keto flu. So I've seen that too. So everyone's different. So like when you're exercising and you're building muscle, there's always it hurts. It's the same thing with this. It's like, or you get adjusted the first time, oh, it hurts more. It's like, well, your body's moving. When you exercise, you're doing something different. This is the same thing. It's like your body's adapting to something different. Just like when you work out and have a sore muscle, it's kind of the same thing, right? So here you go. How do you support this? Drink a lot of water, take a lot of electrolytes, or just a lot of salt. You can eat more meals in a day at first, so more smaller meals of fat, so kind of keep that balanced out. Coconut oil will help it. Adaptogens can help, adaptogens. You know what adaptogen is? So you know mushroom? It's like a mushroom grows in like the wet, moist, dark conditions. It adapted to this very harsh environment. And so when you eat mushrooms, it allows your body, it's like, it makes your body able to deal more with stress, helps your body deal with stress because it has adapted to its environment and it helps you adapt. That's why I call it adaptogens. So eating mushrooms, or there are certain essential oils, Joy knows about those, that are adaptogenic that help your body adapt to stress also. Because this is just a stress. That's all it is. It's just stress. Body is under stress. You like take things to help stress. It's like ashwagandha is an adaptogen, and people take that when they're under a lot of stress. Just because those things are able, like those adaptogens, you know, have adapted to different really harsh environments. Egg yolks are really good. Never eat just egg whites. Never do that. Always, you're better off throwing away the white and eating the yolk. Don't ever throw away the yolk and eat the white. That's the worst thing ever. It's actually toxic. It's not good for you. Yeah, I would only eat a whole egg or only eat a yolk. But or organic. So be careful. I would get organic eggs so that you know what the chicken is eating. Because if the chicken is eating genetically modified corn, then that egg is not really good. So organic for that reason, right? So grass-fed butter is good for this. You're just like, do you ever see children eat butter? Do you ever have a kid? Why do you think they're doing that? Because it's like they know how good it is. It's like they instinctively like, oh, and they eat it and they just want more. It's so good for your brain. It's amazing for your body. I'll eat butter frequently. I like butter. You can take some glycine. There's a couple of supplements to like help you detox. Like glycine helps your liver. L-glutamine helps heal your gut. That's going to be individual, but there's some supplements you can take to help you through the process of the keto flu. But I would start out with just water, salt, and just suck it up. Well, you know, you kind of embrace the suck, because that's my...
So they call it flu because of flu symptoms?
Yeah, well, because it's like, yeah, because you can be dizzy, you can have headaches. Some people like, oh, do I have like, am I sick? Do I have a cold or something? Or the flu? It's just keto. Your body's just adapting to something. So here are the top 5 keto foods. Hopefully this is easy. Coconut. Didn't they come out and say like coconut oil is bad? Who remembers that? Do you remember that? Yeah. Coconut. Do you know who like published that study? Canola oil.
Butter industry.
Canola oil, huh?
I was gonna say probably the butter industry.
No, not the butter industry. They're in the same level as coconut. No, the canola oil industry did. So, canola oil is so bad. Coconut is so good for you. You should just eat coconut flour. So you could bake with coconut flour. You can make cookies and cake and muffins and donuts, as long as you use like monk fruit or xylitol to sweeten, right? So you could bake with that. That's keto. Like coconut flour brownies are keto, as long as you use a sweetener. Well, I'll get to the sweeteners, but no honey, no maple syrup, no sugar. Like monk fruit, there's no glycemic, so there's no carbs in there. Xylitol.
Why not coconut water?
Because it's very sugary. You can drink it sometimes, but it's not like, don't be chugging coconut water, because that's high in sugar.
What about drinking the coconut water from the coconut?
It's still high in sugar, but it's fine sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, it's just sugary.
Oh.
Well, doesn't it taste sweet?
No, it doesn't.
You can drink it sometimes. If you do, I would do it right from the coconut and not from a container that's probably been pasteurized.
No, I mean the
Yeah,
coconut.
but I wouldn't do it all the time. That's fine to do. But if you can do it every day, unless you're like diabetic or something. Like if you're not diabetic, that's a good way to get some electrolytes, right? So coconut butter, coconut flakes, coconut milk, coconut cream. Take some coconut cream and some monk fruit, and you like whip it up, and you have whipped cream, right? There's a lot of things a lot of little tricks, like making things that you love keto. It's not that hard. You just have to look for it. You just Google like keto donuts, and then 5,000 recipes pops up, right? Keto, whatever you want to make. Just say keto, and then you'll find like keto chocolate chip cookie recipe, right? It's not hard. Avocados are fantastic food. You should eat an avocado every single day. It's really good fat. There's a lot of good nutrients in it. And you can make guacamole, obviously. You can put it in a smoothie. You can just eat it. And you can also make chocolate pudding out of it. Anyone ever do that? You literally enjoyed it, right? You've done that? You know, it's amazing. It doesn't taste, you would never know. You would never know there's avocado in it. I made it, I used to make it, if we sell avocados, I have extra. So I made it one day, I put it in my little, whatever, food processor thing. And the next day I was eating it, I was like, oh my God, what's green in here? I'm like, duh, it's avocado. Like, one piece didn't mix, I was like, why is that green? I forgot there was avocado in it, like the next day. This just doesn't taste like it. You can add a little coconut cream.
The chocolate in the avocado?
Yeah, so you take avocado, like I have you put it in a food processor. A blender is not so good because, unless you have one of those, what are those? Vitamix. I have a Vitamix. So, but a blender, you need more liquid to make it mix, and this will be, you want it creamy. So like a food processor is good, so you avocado, raw cocoa powder, some monk fruit, maybe some coconut cream, or some heavy cream if you want, grass-fed heavy cream. There's recipes. It's really, really good. Yeah. Grass-fed butter is a great fat. And one of the reasons is because it has fat-soluble vitamin A in it. And it has retinol, which is much better than, which is like retinol, and it's much better than beta-carotene. So grass-fed butter is just, again, why children like to eat butter. Because of all the good things in it. It's anti-carcinogen, it has vitamin K in it. It's just really nutrient dense and really good for your brain. So just put butter on everything. Everything. Butter is grass-fed butter. Like you can get Kerry. You don't have to get fancy stuff. Get Kerrygold. It's grass-fed butter. You can get that where it's Stop and Shop, and you can get it everywhere. Kerrygold with a K. We have it here, but they have like Trader Joe's has it. Everywhere. BJ's has it. Kerrygold also makes grass-fed cheese. It's really good. Okay, so like of course you can eat all vegetables except really starchy ones, right? Like you can't just eat potatoes all day. That's carby. You know, or root vegetables, you have to like be careful with root vegetables. But with cruciferous vegetables, you want to steam them. It's just better for your body. Like kale and broccoli, Brussels sprouts, they're just better steamed or cooked than they are raw. Because it can cause a problem. If you eat too much of that, it can cause like a, I must say, iodine problem. Like people say, oh, that can cause a thyroid problem. Not really. Because I'm like, oh, I'm never eating broccoli again. But all you have to do is steam it a little. Kale, steam it a little, whatever.
What about cabbage?
Cabbage is cruciferous, so yeah. You can also ferment it. Like if you have coleslaw, that's fermented. So that's fine. It's just better like a little steamed or a little cooked than raw. That's just hard to digest, right? And then you just steam it and then just put a lot of butter on it.
It seems like it's going against everything we've been taught.
I know. Basically, everything you've been taught is just. I had somebody who came in once years ago. He came in because he heard me on the radio and he just wanted to like talk to me. So he came in and he told me his little story. And he's like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you're amazingly healthy. I'm like, how did you know to do all that? He said, this is what he said, quote, whatever they tell me to do in the mainstream media, I do the opposite. And that's how he got healthy. Literally, that was his exact words. I was like, that is the funniest thing I've ever heard. But true. If they're like, oh my gosh, don't eat salt, just salt. Like when they said, oh my gosh, coconut oil is bad for your heart, like there's memes of like people just drinking giant jugs of coconut oil. Like when the American Heart Association says that coconut oil is bad, you just drink a whole thing of coconut oil for your heart. So you're gonna hear things that are opposite, like, oh, don't eat fat. Like, no, eat fat. Oh, don't, you know, it's all opposite.
Lately, I've been hearing don't eat eggs. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you can eat 6 eggs a day, you're fine. But organic. They go back, and if you look back at the history of what they say about eggs, it was like, eat a lot of eggs, don't eat eggs. Eat a lot of eggs, don't eat eggs. Like it goes back and forth. I don't know why. But eat organic eggs as much as you want. It's fine.
If you eat organic eggs, so you still have to just eat the...
No, you don't just have to eat the yolk. I'm just saying I'm just like making a point, like don't take away the yolk. Like people think egg whites are healthier. They're not. The yolk is healthier. Egg whites are fine. If you eat the whole egg is better. I was just saying you're better off taking away the white than the yolk. But no, eat the whole egg.
Or the organic egg.
Organic eggs.
But I thought they said that the whites have more protein in it.
No, the yolks do. Yeah. The whites are a little carby. Gotcha. And naturally raised meat, so you have to be careful with the meat that you eat. You can't just eat regular meat. Yeah, you want to eat a meat. You want to, like, anytime you're going to eat an animal, you have to know what that animal ate. Right? Because you are what you eat. So a cow that God designed to eat only grass, only, that cow in a factory farm is getting injected with hormones and steroids and antibiotics and being fed other dead cows. Right? So that you don't want to eat that. Plus it's like being treated disgusting the way they treat them. You want to eat a cow that's like wandering around in the field, happy, eating grass, right? That's fine. And they live a lot longer. They don't, like, factory raised animals are killed very early because if they're not, they get sick and then they can't sell it. I mean, they can feed it to their other animals, but they can't sell it. So they kill them fast. But a grass-fed cow just wanders around for years before they, like, slaughter it and eat it, right? So naturally raised meats, oh, thank you, Joy, fix that. Yeah.
No, you don't mention dairy in there, other than the coconut.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
Butter.
a lot of the keto books I've read encourage eating whole fat and butter.
Yeah. Thanks for mentioning that. Grass-fed milk, full fat, way to go. That's it. Like some people can't digest dairy, and then don't eat dairy. But if you can digest dairy, I eat like massive amounts of raw grass-fed cheese every day. We have raw milk here that's like not pasteurized and that's all full fat. Yogurt, grass-fed, full fat. Butter, grass-fed, right? Heavy cream, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, only because, it's like I'm trying to add more dairy, and I don't like a lot of dairy because I have a little bit of lactose intolerance.
Okay.
So I do take enzymes, to counterbalance it. But, it's a quick way to get a meal, a healthy meal without overdoing it. And I've been off and on. The problem I recognize for myself is if I do a high fat content diet, then I'm always fighting how many calories do I really need.
Calories are useless, and you don't ever look at calories. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, see, I don't know if I believe that 100% because I think if you continue to eat just fat, you're gonna just get fatter.
You're not.
And
You're not going to get fatter. It doesn't matter. Calories has nothing to do with weight gain. Weight gain is all hormones. All hormones. Insulin, leptin, it's all hormones. It doesn't matter. I probably eat 4 times as many calories as anyone in this room. I'll count them. But it's not about calories. It's about the quality of the food. So maybe grass-fed butter has mass amount of calories, but maybe you eat less of other food. But if you're eating like sugar or junk food, I don't know, or diet soda, there's no calories in there, and that's going to kill you. So it's not calories. Calories in versus calories out. That has been like reversed. That's not science. It's just like, oh, I think that's how it works. It's not
if you
science.
work out really heavy, like on an HIT program, like high intensity, is that going to make it so you don't feel sick and weak and ready to
Yeah,
flex?
maybe. Yeah, probably.
Okay.
If you're like really exercise a lot, you'll probably feel it'll be easy. Going into ketosis will be so much easier. Definitely. But yeah, I'm a big, if you can eat dairy, I think the best is, grass-fed. It's better if it's raw. But, you can get raw cheese, you can get raw milk, you can't get raw butter, and legally in this state, or raw cream. But you can get raw milk, and you can get raw cheese, and you can take the raw milk and make your own yogurt if you want, right?
Is that comparable to like a goat milk?
It's different. It's like goat, same thing. Is just get non-fat. If you can get raw, it's better. Goat milk is different. There's different proteins, but it's all good. If you like goat milk, drink goat milk. Yeah. Some people who are lactose intolerant can drink goat milk, and sometimes people who are lactose intolerant can eat cheese because it doesn't have the same enzymes as milk has. Like the casein is in the milk, not in the cream part, right? So butter sometimes is fine with people who are lactose intolerant. Everyone's a little bit different.
So you're saying it's good to eat when we drink milk?
As long as it's grass-fed, yeah.
Almond milk.
Right, just look at the ingredients. So coconut milk, the ingredients is coconut. Almond milk, the ingredients is almond and water. But not like a list of ingredients this long. Don't drink that because then you're putting chemicals in your body. If you put chemicals in your body, you're going to mess up your hormones too. And you're going to become toxic and you get sick, right? So it's a quality. Is it like just eat almond milk that has almonds and water, or just eat coconut milk that's just coconut, right?
Is organic milk the same thing as?
No, it's not. Organic is like the minimum requirement. I wouldn't even drink organic milk. I would only drink grass-fed. But if you can only find organic milk, then okay, you might have issues with it, but it's fine if that's all you could get. You know what I mean? But you're better off with grass-fed when it comes to anything having to do with a cow. And chicken should be pastured, and pork should be pastured, and fish should be wild. Right? So people say, oh, grass-fed chicken. No, chickens eat everything. And it's okay. They're supposed to eat bugs and frogs and all this stuff, right? That's fine. They're omnivores. They're not, cows they just eat grass. That's it. So you only want to eat a cow that only eats grass, but chickens, as long as it's pasture-raised organic. And pork should be pasture-raised organic. And fish should be wild. Yeah, it covers all the meat. Right? Basic. Eat the animal when it was eating, how it was designed, living how it was designed. That's all. Intermittent fasting. So this is really important. So our ancestors fasted like all the time because they just didn't have enough food. So our bodies are just used to that. Our bodies are not used to just eating all day, every day. That's just like really bad for us, right? Every major religion incorporates fasting for spiritual growth. Every major religion does some kind of fasting, right? Fasting is just good for your body. It's good for your mind. It's good to not be so addicted to food that you have to always eat, because maybe you're covering something up. Maybe it's stress, or like, right? Maybe you're using it as like a self-medicating, right? So, but your body needs to fast daily. It's a lifestyle. That's why intermittent fasting is like you just don't ever eat breakfast. Just skip breakfast. Breakfast is the worst meal to eat. That's again, like, they're like, oh, you have to eat breakfast. Never eat breakfast. Between 3 a.m. and noon every day, your body will go through a detox. Every day, your body will detox naturally. As soon as you eat, it shuts it off, and you don't detox. So if you eat breakfast every day, you're never detoxing. So you want, between 3 a.m. and noon, you just don't eat. Just drink water. You can drink tea. You could drink coffee, as long as there's nothing in it. Huh?
Black.
What? Black coffee, right?
What about the caffeinated coffee?
Yeah,
Caffeinated tea?
I mean, oh, you mean like herbal tea is fine, but if it's like decaffeinated, it's probably processed a little, but it's not so bad, it's fine. So you want your body to not be digesting food all the time, and when you fast, your body releases human growth hormone, which increases muscle mass and balances your hormones and does all these great things. You build more muscle by just fasting than by exercising more. You can get like ripped by just fasting and exercising also, but you don't have to increase your exercise, you just increase your fasting. It increases your human growth hormone, you build more muscles faster. Is that interesting? I know people who that's happened to, they didn't even realize what was happening. Like, why am I ripped? Like, they didn't realize because the science wasn't out. This is 20 years ago. And again, it allows your digestive system to rest. Like, we just eat all day. Like, your digestive system, all your body does, all your energy and your whole body just digests food all day. Like, there's other things that your body needs to do, and it can't do them if it's just digesting food all day. So you got to give your body a break. And you want to give your digestive system a break, because it's always food in there. If you don't want to have digestive issues, you got to give your digestive system a break, and let it relax and heal and recover until you eat again, right? Does that make sense? Yeah?
So if you go on ketosis and you're in it for a week, let's just say, when you stop or have a lousy day where you're not eating according to your plan,
Right.
how quickly do you go out of ketosis?
It depends on how long you've been in it. So if it's a week, you may not even be in ketosis yet, and then you cheated. That's fine. You just go back to it. But if you've been in ketosis for years, you can go eat a plate of French fries, and you don't even go out of ketosis because your body is so keto adapted that it doesn't even, maybe goes out of it for a few hours and goes right back because that's your normal body state. So you're supposed to eat carbs. Once you're like fully in ketosis, you're supposed to eat carbs like every couple of weeks or something. You know, a little more carbs or something, especially as a woman. At night you eat them, which is the opposite of what you think. So if you're going to eat carbs, like when you're in ketosis, you're feeling good, and maybe your medications are gone, and you might feel like, oh, I really need some carbs. eat some like something good, like eat potatoes or sweet potatoes. I wouldn't go for like wheat or any, or like corn. It's hard to digest, but whatever. Cassava, whatever you want. But just eat it at night so that your brain can use it. Don't eat it during the day. Right? Because that's opposite of what we're told, so that has to be correct. And there's like scientific reasons for all this, which I don't necessarily get into all of it because it's boring. So the basic fast is 16 hours, right? See, like you can have coffee, you can put coconut oil in your coffee. You can put butter in your coffee. You can take electrolytes during that time, water. So like eat for 8 hours. Your body should eat in an 8 hour, and then the rest of the time you just shouldn't eat.
Coffee with coconut?
Yeah, that's like, or butter, right? What do they call that? Bulletproof coffee? Have you heard of that? And so you can do this, you can intermittent fast every single day, or you can start out doing it like 3 or 5 days a week.
So you're saying don't eat in the morning?
Don't eat in the morning.
Until 12 afterwards?
Yeah, the best thing is just not eat till noon. Maybe when you start out, you can't do that, so eat at 11, or eat it, or like maybe stop eating at 8 o'clock at night, and then eat at 8 in the morning, at least do 12 hours, and then try to do 11 hours, then try to do 10 hours. I mean, more, 12 hours and 13 hours. You know what I'm saying? Just try to do an extra hour when you're ready. Just kind of build up to 16. 16 is good. Once you do that for a while, you might want to fast more. That's fine. Right, so start out with 12 and then kind of work your way up to 16. You can also do dinner to dinner at some point. It's good to do that. That's a good break for your body. Any questions about intermittent fasting? But you can do this every day for the rest of your life. This is all part of the lifestyle. It's not a way to lose weight. Because when you fast, you will really increase hormones and really balance things, and it's just good for you. So when you fast properly, your body will go into a healing mode. And like autophagy, how do you pronounce that? Is that how you pronounce it now? They call it Pac-Man. It's like, so when you're fasting, your body has all these like cells that they go around, eat all the junk that's in your body. Like they eat up old cells, old bacteria, junk, toxins, cellular debris. When you're fasting, your body goes into this autophagy. And if you do this every day, if you fast every day, your body cleans itself out. You want to prevent cancer? Fast, right? Yeah?
You said fast every day for how long?
No, not when fast every day, meaning like intermittent fast every day. So like fast every day till noon, and then stop eating at 8 o'clock at night. So intermittent fast.
But you normally stop eating after 8 o'clock.
I mean, stop eating at 8 o'clock at night, and then don't eat again till noon the next day.
But you can drink the coffee.
You can drink coffee and water and electrolytes and some butter in your coffee, or whatever. Does that make sense? Yeah,
I fast from 12 midnight to 12 noon.
that's good.
That's okay?
That's okay.
That's what I do.
You should probably not eat so late, though. What do you
Okay,
eat?
I stopped eating at 7:50 p.m.
Oh, you stop eating at 7 and you don't eat till the next day at noon?
I tried to, yes.
Good. That's awesome. It's perfect. You're doing it. You're already doing that. That's good. So intermittent fasting also, there's a really interesting study about intermittent fasting. So men and women who fasted for 24 hours, like dinner to dinner, right? They increase your human growth hormone. Women increase their human growth hormone 1,200%. That means you're building muscle, you're balancing hormones. It's good for your brain. It makes your brain sharp, human growth hormone. Men increase 2,000%, which is why you work out the same and grow big muscles, because you're increasing your human growth hormone, balancing testosterone. So if there was a medication that could do that, they would put it in the water.
So you're saying before, did you have to get to the keto food then before you start doing all that?
You can do intermittent fasting if you want. Intermittent fasting is easier when you're in ketosis, because you're just not as hungry and you just don't care about eating in the morning. But if you can intermittent fast right away, that's great, because then again, it'll probably be easier on your transition to ketosis, because your body's not going to just be digesting. Just drink water in the morning, let your body clean out. It might be even easier.
Okay, because before you said you have a food, like eat smaller meals?
Well,
or-
some people that works for and some people it doesn't. Like there's little, like you can try fasting and maybe that helps you. If that doesn't help you, you might need to eat a little bit of fat throughout the day. or smaller meals. Like everyone is so different. But our bodies are designed to burn ketones and not sugar. That's just how our bodies are designed. But different people, different things work for them and different things affect them. So you might not get any keto flu at all, or someone else might get it, right? So there's like different techniques. You could try fasting, you could try eating more, try eating less, you know what I mean? Try drinking more water, try drinking some coffee, like try exercising, whatever, right? There's no like exact,
I got a question.
yeah.
I do a 1-day fast now, but at the end of my fasting, it's like, seems like I want to eat around the whole house.
That's
How do
okay.
you control that?
Depending on what you're eating.
I'm gonna have nuts.
Yeah, it's
or,
fine.
Fruits.
That's fine. As long as you're not like eating a whole pizza or McDonald's. Like I fast like 3 days a week, I fast till dinner. And I'll eat like a lot. I'll eat like the whole day worth of food in one meal. Like a giant salad with nuts and, you know, and then I'll have cheese, like raw cheese, and then I'll have like a giant hamburger, whatever. And it's all the food that I would eat for the whole day, but I'm only eating it here, but I'm giving my body a chance to rest and recover before and after, right? So that's fine. Just don't eat bad stuff. As long as you're not like gorging on eating a big bowl of spaghetti or something. As long as you're eating nuts and fruit and meat or whatever, you're fine.
I do more like salad with nuts.
Perfect.
And, walnuts in it.
That,
all around.
that's perfect. That's exactly what I do. I've been doing it for years. I've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
It's fine. That's fine. Because your body needs the food. You just want to give it a break from digesting all day and just digest one meal. That's fine.
Like that, I just eat
That's okay.
tomato for example.
That's okay. That's fine. It's fine. I do the same thing.
You said you eat a lot of salads,
Yeah.
but what meal do you eat the salads?
Oh, so okay. So if so I do power yoga, right? So I do that 4 days a week in the morning. So after I do that, I'm starving, so I eat a salad for lunch. But when I don't, so for lunch, like noon, 12:30. But like today, when I'm fasting all day, I don't have time to eat, and I'm not hungry, so I didn't work out. So I'll eat my salad at dinner, and then I'll eat like my dinner. I'll eat like salad, which I would normally eat at lunch, and then I'll eat meat. So normally, like I'll eat salad and nuts and cheese, and then meat at night. But on the days I fast, I eat all that at the same time. And so I eat the same thing every day, just different times. So lunch or dinner.
Do they say when you work out, you're supposed to eat something before you work out?
No, always work out in a fasted state every time. You get much more benefit in every way from that.
I get these.
Then you just drink water or take electrolytes. Water and salt. If you're dizzy from working out in a fasted state, drink a lot of water. You might be dehydrated. No, I don't know. Maybe salt. Maybe you need more salt. Maybe. That's the quickest thing to do. Or maybe drink a little coffee or have a little fat or something.
I don't do coffee.
Yeah, I don't either. Drink more water and take some salt and see what happens. Yeah.
I have a recommendation, I use it, but I use collagen protein,
Oh yeah, that's great.
and I mix it with a little vacas, the blanched chain amino acids, for a little
Sure.
flavor.
Yeah.
And that gets me through my workout.
Yeah, take some collagen. There's collagen, grass-fed
It's,
collagen.
Blanched chain amino acids, it just adds flavor, so I don't use the full amount, but I just use it so I have some sugar in my body to get going.
You can do collagen in the morning. You can even put collagen in your coffee. I do collagen in the morning with a little bit of cocoa powder with no sugar and some greens. I like some green powder. Yeah, but yeah, that's a good idea. Collagen is a great idea. So, getting back to human growth hormone, I don't know if it says HG, is that's the master hormone of your body, and it just decreases as you age. But then as you intermittent fast and do this, it goes up. It's like reversing aging. So intermittent fasting enhances your longevity gene as well. So just it slows down aging, intermittent fasting. Broth. So yeah, you're just talking about collagen. So bone broth, right? Didn't we, as a culture, around the world, when people killed an animal, they would eat the entire animal. They would eat every part that they could eat, and then what they couldn't eat, they would put it in a big pot of water and make broth. And so when you do that, you're getting massive amounts of collagen and nutrients and all this great stuff that's like heals your gut and heals your joints and does all these great things. But now, we don't do that. We just eat chicken breast, which that's the worst part of the chicken, by the way. Yeah, just the dark meat is way better for you. Wings, legs, there's more tendons and nutrients and all that stuff. So you can take collagen or you can make bone broth, but our body needs that and we don't get it, which is why we have joint problems and we lose our hair and our skin gets messed up. So taking collagen or making bone broth or something. First you can take collagen, but cooking the bone broth is that's really good for you. You can even eat bone broth, you can even drink bone broth instead of tea or coffee in the morning. And that's a fast, that's considered fasting. So, but the breast, you don't feel like you have to eat chicken breast that's steamed or whatever. Eat wings that are deep fried in coconut oil and put butter on them. That's better for your body. The more you add, you want to add fat to your, good fats to your diet. That's what I'll eat that, right? So bone broth is good. The collagen just kind of is an infrastructure to your joints and to your ligaments and to your tendons, right? It's just really important in your body to have collagen in all different parts of your body. So I take collagen powder because I don't like bone broth. It's better. I just don't like it. So this is gone from our diets, but we have to go back to it. We have to just go back to what we used to do when we used to kill the animal in our backyard and do all that stuff and eat every part of it and then cook them and make soup, right? I do a lot of juicing. So on the days where I fast until dinner, I'll drink green juice. It's all going back to basics, really. Good health is just simple. It's not complicated. It's going back to more simple ways.